like minds, anonymity, and ease of access, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, his name gets mentioned a lot, but like Roman, I think he completely changed the way I am just because I talked to him so much, and we rationalize so many different subjects together that it's like, I don't know. I just think my personality has changed so much the last like 2 years.
Wow. Do you still talk to him?
Yeah, yeah. Like we're really good friends.
I figured so, but I thought I remember you saying something happened or something.
I think you're thinking about me, maybe. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Mm. But I think it's because we have so much in common. Just like with our life situation and all, and you know, we kind of think the same way on some things. And I like he doesn't give a fuck about some things. He'll fucking buy a subscription to a BDSM site just to see what kind of people are on the site. That's like that's the kind of guy Roman is. That's why I think he's fucking hilarious. He actually did that once.
He is interesting. He is interesting, for sure.
Like I've never met anybody who would fucking buy a subscription to a BDSM site just to see what kind of people are on like those kind of sites.
Like it was a BDSM dating site, or like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and he fucking bought like a subscription for like 20 euros and talk to people in there just for fun.
Does he still come around?
I don't think so. Not in here. He thinks it's fucking boring in here. So I don't know. Yeah, I think what the I don't know if Neptune will agree, but I think Roman really values like one-on-one conversation. So he like this kind of platform is not his. Like he doesn't like this kind of way of communicating. I think he likes it when it's way more intense, and like you can converse one-on-one.
Right. That's how all my conversations have gone. Like 2 or 3 people in the room. I don't. I don't fucking care to try to speak up over Eric and Taylor and all that shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get a little irritated, honestly, if there's too many ENTPs in the room, because they do not give anyone else a chance to talk.
How bad am I?
I mean, you do when it's just you in the room talking to introverts, you do a good job. But when you, Taylor, and Eric are in the room together, like everyone else may as well just leave, honestly. Like,
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it sometimes because you can
Uh,
just feel like every introvert in the room just kind of shuts down when there's so many extroverts in here. In a way, like because introverts, they want to be heard in some way because I don't know why. So we kind of shut down when we don't think like people value what we're saying or hear what we're saying at all. Like it's like talking to a wall. That's how I feel when there's like 10 people in here and there's like five extroverts having a conversation. You know?
yeah, and like trying to fight to be heard, and then when you do finally get heard, you're like, well, if this isn't like super well worded and important, then it's like I should have just not have said it. Because now
But
I just like interrupted the flow of what they were doing, and it wasn't even like a good contribution.
but how do you fix that?
By observing, formulating sentences in your head, and then typing them in chat.
Like, what if? So why does introverts should band together and go into different rooms sometimes when that happens?
That's a good idea, actually. But I mean, it's not like Eric doesn't say anything interesting, and I don't know, it's not completely awful all the time. But if it does get annoying, then usually I just leave on my own. I don't even go to another room.
Yeah, also like I don't know. I feel like it sends a message if you just leave and go to another room. I don't know. I don't want to seem like douchey or whatever.
I mean, but the ENTPs genuinely won't care. They might just be like, "Oh, I was talking too much. I'll do less of that next time." But it'll never hurt them, and they'll never feel like you were actually being rude.
That's why I actually like this platform more because there's like a limit on how many people can be in the rooms. Like I kind of like this that there's not like 30 people in the room, and there's like in the chat there's like 5 different people having 5 different conversations in the chat while the extroverts are talking. I remember that on the old side it was like that sometimes.
Yeah, the INFJs were always in the chat, like with productive conversation. But then they all left.
Does light bulb still come around?
Sometimes. Like you and Marjay are the, and Ken was an active one too. He was mostly on cam now. But yeah, all of you guys, like all three of you, kind of stopped coming.
And like in with the peering or the old platform.
After we like transitioned from GTM to here, they all like left.
Why do you think that? Like,
Why do I think that?
yeah, like, why do you think all
It is
like
that they left.
most of the INFJ stuff?
Uh,
What was the reason why maybe like not if you were like why did you stop like coming here when we changed the platform? Do you think?
Well, for me personally, I had a lot of technical issues at the time. I didn't like the room cap because like I don't mind majority of the time there being a lot of commotion and activity. That's just my personal taste. I don't like the NE and the constant jumping from topic to topic to topic. I like to be able to like sink into something, right? Spend some time with it. So I was a little disappointed to see some of the familiar faces leave and just not have the same feel of the room as it was before. I was personally just attached to how things were running before.
Okay.
do you feel differently about the room now?
Well, yeah, it's for one thing, the entire time that I've been here, I've been like really depressed and shit. So it was my major form of socialization and being around people. Um, now that I've kind of pulled out of that funk, I can take it more at a casual glance and look at it for its merits of uh, friendships or whatever, conversation without seeing it so much as like my home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So feeling a little less invested, not seeing it so much as a community or as taking it less seriously, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if any of that made any sense.
No, it actually does make sense to me.
I just like the network of NCPs because in my real life I don't really have anybody to have this kind of conversation with. So I find it intriguing to be in here compared to talking to my friends or whatever.
I think I'll always probably prefer the online medium because, like, I don't know, like before this, I was on TinyChat, and it was similar actually to this. Like, it came, like, even though it was like there was a ton of censors in there, it was like
Hmm.
weirdly family-like. I don't know. Uh,
Do you feel, are you hesitant to admit that about talking to famous people?
um, I mean, I spend so many hours here a day. It'd be silly for me not to admit it. Uh, but family is a big word, so I imagine I would assume that people take like when they hear me say the word family, that they know that it's like it's not like a serious word. It's just like family is another word for community.
Right.
Yeah. But like when this shuts down or when I get sick of it, I'll probably just find another place, I guess.
Why are you here instead of with people in real life?
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of like either I don't want to be around people for very long because the conversation isn't that stimulating, or I'm terrified of people's intentions, so I'd rather not get involved with anyone in general on a more than surface level. Um, so I'm a little paranoid, I guess. Um, and what else? I guess dealing with people's reactions to things in real time is like a little overwhelming for me. Like I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like this has a sort of like video game feel to it. Like I can kind of do things and there's no real consequences. I can't deal with things having real life consequences.
Yeah, you can just fucking close the tab and you'll be out, you know?
Yeah.
Is that why you never come on campus to keep that barrier up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing with the cam. I don't like it. It's too intimidating. Maybe when I get more comfortable later, I don't know. I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but before I like enter a friend group or whatever, or a new community or whatever, like I spend a lot of time just observing like the way they behave and stuff. Not like I'll write down shit or anything, but I'll just just observe everything, the way people talk or say or how they are and whatever. Like I'll know a lot about people before like I've even said a word to them in real life.
Yeah.
Or just on here, like if somebody new comes in, like I definitely won't be the first to say like what up. I'll just like let others know them first, and then I'll hear their opinion on them, and then maybe I'll talk to them like by myself or like ask them questions. But I won't be the first to make contact with a new person like at all.
I've been sitting here trying to like really put effort into relating to you all in this. I'm like, and then it's going to where like I don't understand it from your your point of view, I guess. I don't know.
Which parts?
Well, it's like the camera thing, like the thing with Neptune. He's a good-looking dude. So I was like, why does he want to go on camera? It's just fucking. I could see if he was ugly or something, or if he had it. And then I was like, maybe if he was like, he's pretty introspective to a degree. He calls people out on his bullshit, and he seems to call. I would have to assume he calls himself out on his own bullshit. So I don't think he has any like major body dysmorphia type shit. And then it's like you all speak so well, and you're very intelligent. So it's like when I hear you talking to new people, it sounds like almost a like when I hear you have to wait and get to know somebody or something, it sounds like you have a reason to be on the more defensive. But I can't find any reason. But it's one of those things I can't really.
I mean, I'm sure that like
before I articulate it, I need to think about it more before I articulate it. So
I think I know what you mean, though.
Okay. I'm going to speak straight about it. The things at which I attribute the characteristics of somebody that I attribute to contributing to people avoiding things like this, like having a hard time talking to new people, or being, I don't want to use the word afraid, but I'm going to use it, afraid to be on camera. I don't see them being the kind of people that you all are. So, but this isn't a knock on the way that you're it's one of those things where I have to understand that I don't understand it, because we're just different in that regard.
I think there's definitely like is a reason for it somewhere. Like I just have a hard time myself thinking what it is. Like I probably could make some educated guesses as to why, but I don't know. Like
I mean, it's one thing where I haven't the slightest clue. So
it's weird. I'm kind of like drawing a blank on like why I'm so like averse to it. Yeah.
Like, well, for example, something specifically, like you talking about you're worried about people's intentions in real life.
Oh well, yeah, that can be explained really easily though.
But hold on, I put you in the highest percentage of people being capable of handling ill-willed people.
I mean, but I am good at it when the problem arises, but I mean, I've had enough like negative reinforcement growing up that I'm like, highly introverted and don't even want to. Also, I don't want to go through the effort of having to constantly watch out for that shit. I'd rather just like be by myself if I'm gonna have to do that. You know, like before I was old enough to realize that I could handle it, I guess. I couldn't handle it actually when I was younger, you know, and so I kind of just like I went way way inward when I was younger because of a lot of experiences. Like
You were more like you were. I guess I don't know if it's a word, but shyer.
I started out shy. I was a little weird, and then also like there were a ton of experiences that I just had that just like kind of pushed me like deeper and deeper inside of myself, and I kind of like crawling out has been really uh yeah, crawling out has been kind of impossible.
Hmm.
Like I don't think I'll ever be completely outside.
When I think of uh, like the thing where you said, Nick, that you don't understand, like you have to understand what you don't understand. Then I think of like a Carl Jung thing because I remember I was reading one of his books, and basically he said that introverted types have this feeling when they're around people that they have like that people have a negative aura in general. Like that introverts protect themselves by being shy. So yeah, I have a hard time articulating it, but
Well,
it's
that's easy for me to understand, but that's the what or the how. I want to know the why. You know what I mean?
hmm, maybe it's no, I'm just thinking maybe it's an intimacy thing.
Ooh,
Actually, that makes the most sense to be honest.
yeah. Wow. Wow.
What is Nas talking about? Where are we?
Do the videos not upload in 15-minute increments? Nah,
Oh, I don't think they upload as fast as the old channel did.
it's throwing me off.
Yeah, or maybe it uploads like every so and so, but not like the way it used to.
Hmm. But I think that would make the most sense with the intimacy thing. Like me and not maybe not just introverts in general are more afraid of intimacy, so they kind of protect themselves. Maybe like if Neptune doesn't get on cam and whatever, and people see what he looks like and stuff, it like it won't get too close. You know?
I almost
They will.
visualize like a bubble. Think of the frequency of your thoughts creating a bubble around you, like a sphere. Like the more you talk out your thoughts and you put your thoughts outside your head, the wider that sphere gets. So if anybody's in that sphere, then it's kind of like normal, the range high. But if you keep a lot of your thoughts to yourself, you don't share them very much. Then when that 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 sphere is smaller and it comes into less contact with people, so it's not as a depth to having interaction with that.
Hmm. I don't know. Like sometimes when I've like been talking in here for a long time and like just talking like this, I kind of feel like I've exposed myself. I don't know. It's weird. It's
Is it an uncomfortable thing?
a little bit. I think I kind of feel exposed in some ways
Yeah,
when,
exposed feels uncomfortable. It sounds uncomfortable to me. Does it get
but it's good in some way. I feel like relieved and exposed at the same time.
like and freer and exposed, less weighed down? What about, does it get easier?
Like I think gradually I just started using my mic more when I'm in here instead of just writing in the chat.
Yeah, man, you're on the mic all the time when I'm in here.
Hmm.
Yeah, what Carolyn is saying is that's been a major hindrance for me interacting a lot because I hate the fact that this is recorded and it doesn't. Maybe it's not rational, but just the fact that I'm not in control of the circumstances wherein I present myself. Or
I think it'd be irrational for anybody not to worry about that, or at least pop in their mind.
what I'm saying is that for me personally, I don't think my fears are rational in the sense that I genuinely expect it to happen or think it could happen. It's just being confronted with the notion that I'm not in control of how I choose to interact. I can't, play it in a certain way or whatever. I can't control who sees what, when they see it, how they see it, right? It's the whole FE thing. Um, but I don't know. Like in the last couple of weeks, I've just really stopped caring about that shit. So must be SE or whatever. Just kind of take it as it comes.
You feel like oh, sorry.
I was just gonna ask Nas about the intimacy thing because I wanted to know if it applied to all introverts or like do you
No,
find that that's a thing?
not at all. Well, I don't like. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not. I don't like my inability to choose my partner in this platform. But I love being intimate. That's what I do when I gravitate towards conversations with people in real life, at work, or just it doesn't matter. New friends. That's what I like to do. I like to be really close to people. And,
Yeah, I guess I like to be intimate with people. I just don't like engaging, like doing it, like right, like in the start, like breaking the ice, I guess.
yeah. No, I tend to be kind of all in at the front.
Maybe it's an INTP thing. Could be, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I try to get intimate with people. Like, I want them to feel like they can feel like they're intimate with me, you know? But
Mm.
I know that that'll never happen with me. Like, I just can't. Like, there's a certain point where it's just like a big, giant, like, block is just up, and it won't. I can't go past that. It just doesn't happen.
Do you
Uh,
think, do you think it's possible to get behind that barrier, like at some point?
yeah, even when I've tried to cross it, though, it felt very like okay, now I'm like crossing over this barrier, but it doesn't really feel real because I'm aware of it while I'm doing it. And intimacy is supposed to be a natural process.
Mm. Yeah, like I've never been in a relationship, so I can't really relate to that stuff. Like, when you guys talk about relationships and stuff, like I can only look at it objectively. I don't know, like personally how it feels at all. as I've never tried to engage in that kind of stuff. Like I feel like I'm too afraid. Literally,
Well, I
I'm
can
too
tell you
afraid
this.
to engage in that kind of stuff. I like to talk about it,
I,
but when I think about in real life trying to date someone, I'm like, holy fuck.
It doesn't even have to be in like a romantic context though either. I'm talking about I guess I mean like intimacy in all realms, you know.
Mm,
well, the thing, yeah, intimacy applied differently, and Magnus also. I will tell you that you can't necessarily, in my opinion, hammer down what it's like to be in a relationship because all relationships are so fucking different
mm.
from one another. They vary so greatly, in my opinion. Even the same relationship will change dramatically over time.
Yeah, I just always I feel like I just had this experience where the thought was always better than actually doing it, right?
You probably won't prove yourself wrong about that.
Mm.
Sorry, it's kind of like pessimistic, but because as soon as things go sour, you'll probably go back to thinking that anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Kugos, what about you? Could you explain your introversion? I mean, Kugos is king introvert.
What type is?
He's INTP.
Okay.
Type 5 or 4?
I thought Kev was an INFP.
I was about to say he's INFP or INTP, but I think he's INTP.
INTP, I'm pretty sure.
You definitely contribute. Fucking
You
definitely.
give us free art, so you like probably are more of a contributor than most people.
Kugos, does your art ever reflect like communication to the room? Is it something that you're ever? Are you ever trying to chime in specifically through your art, not by doing it, but by doing it in a specific way based on whatever context is going on here?
I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes when I have a conversation with people, I'll like say something and then I'll just, think of like the next thing I'm gonna say and then I totally zone out about what the other person is saying. So I'm like, what the fuck were you saying? Because, I'm thinking about the conversation and the topic we're on. And then my thoughts are just flowing. And then I totally forget that somebody is answering my question.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Why
Normally,
I think it's on the cam when there's like, when the room is packed and everyone's talking, is I get locked up on one conversation, right? I'm NI. I don't got this in any shit. So I get stuck in one spot, and then by the time I pay attention, everything is completely discussing something completely different, and it's something I really don't fucking care about. So I feel like I'm just wasting space sitting up here, being only a passive participant with the room at large. It's better to just kind of hang out in the chat and chime in.
I bet that happens a lot. That sucks because like ENTPs are starting a conversation, and it'd be really cool to be able to slow down to give more introverts time to like hammer it out, make it a little bit more concrete and less sloppy.
Well, like I feel like a lot of the times it turns into like small talk with Eric and Taylor, and they don't really talk about anything in depth at all. It's very like surface level passing jokes about like real topics, and it
Whoa.
gets really annoying. And like Eric breaks things down very fast and in depth actually for how little he talks about the topic, you know. But it's never like a I don't know. And nobody wants to force it either, you know. Like nobody wants to force somebody to like talk about a topic in depth when it's already kind of been covered. But I don't think it's a coincidence that when all the introverts are together, we really do get like way deeper. I don't know. That's not an insult to Taylor and Eric. It's just that they do move fast, and it's kind of just like skimming. They don't really go. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's why you remember if I made the analogy that ENTP is like we dig like 1,000 holes and we dig like 100 holes.
Harder
So
is
we
deeper.
dig
You
way
said.
deeper. We dig
Yeah.
way deeper.
Well,
But
I will say one thing that's unique about ENTPs communicating amongst themselves is the amount of subtext in each fucking thing.
hmm,
That is an interesting phenomena where you know you get a sense of the person, how the person thinks, and they'll say something a certain way that infers your thinking, informs your thinking by you being able to infer what they meant and kind of the logic chain they went down, and it being like, I'm not saying it's always like this, but it's cool once you get that kind of sync with another ENTP. Personally, I think.
Yeah, but then you have to think about it in an objective sense, you know, where the ENTP telepathy shit isn't actually going on when you hear the raw footage. It just looks like, you know, like it's really just like it's not that interesting, I guess, to listen to.
Oh, I wasn't making an objective. I wasn't making a reason that it shouldn't stop happening as much or something.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't want it to come off as me insulting it either as well. I'm just saying,
No,
yeah.
hell no.
Right. And what I'm saying isn't like some sort of passive aggressive blow at extroverts or whatever. It's just a subjective. It's just my preference, right? For the tone of conversation and whatnot. And I think that's the way it's always going to be. Is that you're going to have either a few extroverts in here controlling the room, or one or two extroverts in here and having a slower paced conversation that the introverts can chime in. I just think that's the way it's going to be, and I don't think it should really be adjusted much either way. But I
no,
haven't done recently.
yeah.
Well, I enjoy this kind of conversation exponentially more than just talking with a bunch of extroverts in the room.
I think that I was just saying that's why I actually like Audra because she seems like to be she seems to know the balance. I don't know if you guys feel the same about like her vibe and stuff.
She definitely like doesn't speak unless she really has something to contribute for the most part.
Hmm.
You know, she's not just talking to talk usually.
Hmm.
And she also understands when like she's ruining the flow of things, I guess is what you were saying, right? Like kind of not
Yeah.
She understands when she what?
like the balance of like he was talking about the balance, and she knows that if she goes on rants then introverts go in, you know. So instead she'll like provide something very ENTP-ish to an introvert conversation, and it's way more weighty in that sense, basically.
Well, what was the one word you said? I just missed one word.
Wait, just now?
No, before I said, what'd you say?
I don't even remember what I said, honestly.
Damn it.
He was saying something with the balance.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe that was the word, balance.
But it's almost like Audra is like the introverts among Eric and Taylor in some way.
Well, she thought she was an INTP for a while.
Yeah, I could see that because actually I didn't think she was an ENTP at all when I first came in here because she was always quiet, you know, like she didn't intrude at all when she wants like when she was in here at all. She just like she came with some input like once in a while, but she didn't really talk that much. Seemed like seems a bit more reserved at least than Eric and Taylor.
And her, well, I don't know. ENTPs make pointed comments too, but like, or precise, I guess. But when she's really like analyzing a problem, it's sort of in an INTP manner. I don't know. I think she just has good TI, I guess. But
It only stands to reason that would be the case.
what happened?
I know that's usually I mean whenever I'm on Eric or Taylor or whatever, I talk a lot too, and it's like kind of the energy rubs off on me, and then I realize quite often actually how much bullshit random nonsense I said. But it's just I think it's just the byproduct of talking that much. Although Eric doesn't do that the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's an energy thing, like, especially for maybe higher FE users, kind of rubs off.
What does?
Like the vibe, like it affects me as well. Like if I'm with somebody who's really happy, I just automatically switch in a mode where I seem more happy myself, I guess, to kind of mimic their like body language, I guess.
Do you seem more or are you?
But just say more stuff, like, and I'll be way more polite if like not just so I don't ruin the mood. You know, I won't be quiet and reserved. If
But your actual mood doesn't change. It's just the way you present.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Huh.
For example, I noticed like when I'm with feelers, I have to be really careful. I don't come off as I guess depressed or whatever. Not depressed, but negative in some way because they really notice that shit. Like if you're just a tad depressed or whatever, or at least seem like you're depressed, you know, their mood will drop significantly.
I don't think their mood drops significantly. I think they're just interested in understanding probably why
Hmm.
you feel the way you do or whatever.
Yeah, maybe I just to understand their interests.
Yeah, because like I mean I've noticed INFJs do this. Like Marjay is pretty good at latching on to like something like a piece of something you said that contained a bit of negativity in the whole like just like a paragraph that you just spewed or whatever. And she'll like pick up that one piece and kind of ask more details about that.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so it's mostly like they want you to like not dance around the feeling and kind of just explain why you feel that way.
Yeah.
Can you hear us at all?
What?
Nas said that he lost sound.
Uh, you said that when you were younger you were really shy, right?
Yeah, even before I remember like a lot of details about myself, like um, my mom said I was always like a shy kid,
Mm.
like a shy toddler, shy, just shy. Yeah, from like since being around people, I've always behaved in a way that implied that I was shy.
Funny because I was the exact opposite. I was really always talk with people, and I would like my mom would always like kind of be annoyed that I would talk so much with people because I would just ramble on and on and on. Like when I was talking with people, I wouldn't even let them talk almost because I was just talking. I don't know why. Yeah, but then I don't know. I just slowly when I like turned maybe 18, I got I just started to get more reserved. Naturally, it felt like. Now I'm almost, on the opposite spectrum of being extroverted at least.
Hmm.
It definitely came after the hypochondriac thing that I just kind of closed down.
So before that, you were extroverted for the most part.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed talking with people. I wanted to be with people all the time.
That's weird. That's really interesting.
But after the hypochondriac thing, I never have an interaction with people in real life. Besides, like, you know,
It's like it
when
really like completely changed your brain chemistry.
I don't know what happened though. Like, I don't know. It's weird how you can just change from being extroverted to introverted.
Hmm. I'm looking at the votes now.
What's the votes?
Uh, did Nick delete it?
Huh?
Did you delete the poll?
Did I delete it?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody else did.
Oh.
Your poll is counterproductive to your position, said Taylor Briggs. I'm not being democratic and certainly not looking for FE points. Oh, you saw that already.
FE points. That whole argument is getting so fucking annoying.
Stella is here.
So, really, like that many people dislike me? That's sad. Okay.
No, you should listen.
I think the mighty Taylor kicked her out.
Taylor, stop kicking her.
I like how when Taylor just came like 2 minutes ago and then Courtney joins. Pretty good timing.
Legit, Taylor, like, can you please stop kicking her? I think Taylor's just kicking her over and over every time she joins. What the fuck?
I had such a good point that I want to relay to him that I know would have just it wasn't in opposition to him at all. But when I see this, it's like, let's make a fucking room and let Courtney come in. Let's go make our own room or something for the time being. I mean, the just constant kicking is so fucking annoying. Absolutely so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I'm down to go in another room with Courtney.
And then your flaunting of your special king powers, your despot powers, is super fucking annoying and gross, which is why I left that poll in the first place.
Like, you cut out, Nick.
Somebody need to make a room.
Uh,
I have one.
wait, did Courtney see the poll? Is that what she was referring to?
I don't know. She just called me and I declined it, but let's just go there. Appear.in/host Nick.
Alright. Well, we should wait for Magnus, maybe? Or somebody tell him. I don't know.
Somebody text it.
Yeah.